The FA Cup third round draw has been made this week, and there's been some huge ones for non-league clubs. Solihull Moors, if they win a replay against Blackpool, then they will host Arsenal. If Southport win their replay at home to Tranmere, then they will host Tottenham. Barnet travel to Sheffield United. Wrexham, if they win their replay against Newport, will host Leicester. And for me, the biggest one, National League South side, are definitely going to be hosting Watford. They won in the last round away at Swindon, so they have got through and host a Premier League club, a team from 5 divisions higher. So for all 5 of these teams from non-league, these games are huge in a number of different ways. We're going to be getting into that in this video. So the most obvious benefit is the prize money, and it has increased this year compared to previous years. And that goes right back to the start of the competition. Teams in the extra preliminary round get £2,250, which for just winning one game, that's a big amount of money for teams at that level. So teams from the 8th tier enter the competition at the preliminary round stage. If they win 5 matches, they get to the first round. If they do that, then they get £57,890. Now, this sort of money for clubs at this level, it's a huge percentage of their yearly budget. If a National League team gets to the third round stage, that means they need to win just 3 matches, then they will get £115,000 in prize money alone. And in Wokin's case, being a National League South club entering at the second qualifying round stage, them getting to the third round means that they've already netted themselves £139,000 in prize money. And this is money that can be used in so many different ways, not only just to spend on improving their squad, but also in general changes around the club, improving their stadium, improving their training ground, and almost most importantly, some clubs that are in a lot of debt can use this money from the FA Cup to literally keep the club alive. For example, back in the 2012-2013 season, Macclesfield Town managed to get to the 4th round of the FA Cup. On their journey there, they beat the Championship leaders at the time, Cardiff City, at home, and that essentially kept the club alive. When they had that game against Cardiff, it was a case of if they won, the club was saved from debt, and they won it and they stayed alive, and they've now thrived, gone into the Football League. Because a lot of teams don't have a benefactor like some clubs do, so they haven't got endless pots of money to be throwing at their playing budget. They literally have to make ends meet in whatever ways that they can, and the FA Cup is a big part of it. Also, money from getting your matches played on TV is a massive part of the income from the FA Cup. If you're a non-league team that gets a draw against a Premier League team, I guess the likes of Woking v Watford will probably be on TV, because it's just a minnows versus a giants sort of game. That'll get the TV cameras from BBC and the BT into the ground, and that will get them so much money. As well as having games on TV, people naturally, being vain, want to be part of that, and they want to get on TV, they want to be in that moment. So people will come to that game in higher numbers. Likes of on Friday night last week, Solihull Moors hosting Blackpool. This is a League One team that they were hosting, and they got the highest crowd at their ground ever. So along with that getting them a lot of money from TV, that's got them a lot of money in terms of gate receipts. Also, people buying merchandise, and some of these fans that come through the gates will have never been to a game at that club before. Yes, there is a big bandwagon element of FA Cup runs, but some of those fans that come on part of that bandwagon will stick around. Back in the 14-15 season, Warrington Town, then of the 8th tier, had their first and second round proper matches both televised live on TV. They famously won their first round match 1-0 against Exeter City, and having these 2 games on TV combined with the rest of the prize money got a total of 70% of their income compared to the previous year in FA Cup money alone. And this is stuff that they can add on to their budget, they can use it to strengthen. Warrington Town have done this, they're now in the 7th tier and fighting up at the top end. And the money that came along with that FA Cup run surely played a part in that. During the 16-17 season, Lincoln City famously got to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, getting to play at the Emirates against Arsenal. They beat Burnley on the way, as well as a number of Football League Championship clubs in particular, and this netted them over £1 million in total revenue. Now, they spent a lot of it on a new training ground, and that is going to be a big legacy. It's money that is invested into something that they're going to use for years to come. And on top of the money, there are a huge number of other benefits. Just the experience alone is a massive one for the fans and the players. It's something that the fans and players will remember for the rest of their lives. If they're getting to a huge club or playing at home against a massive Premier League club, it's something that they're never going to forget. I know certainly myself, being a Kidderminster Harriers fan, I remember our game away at Sunderland in 2013. We played as a National League club against a Premier League club away from home. We took 4,000 fans there and only unfortunately lost 1-0. It was a narrow game. We could have nicked it right at the end, but it's a memory that I will never forget. And for the players as well, players that have played their entire career in non-league, it's something totally different, totally out of their comfort zone, but it's a great experience for them. As well as this, it is just a great chance for these players to essentially put themselves in the shop window and dream of that move up to the Football League, for example. And it's not just good exposure for the players, it's good exposure for the club overall. If these teams can have belief to go and beat Football League opponents, they're going to have that belief to go and get promoted. But then again, you could see that exact same point as a negative. Teams could see it as a distraction from the league. The players subconsciously, even though they might say that they're fully focused on the league and the FA Cup run is just a bit of fun, they might overlook the league slightly subconsciously, and it could lead to some poor results in the league. And that is what sometimes happens, particularly after the cup draws have been made ahead of the actual next round matches. Which is why it's an old cliche that when teams get knocked out of the FA Cup, managers and players go and say, we can now concentrate on the league. With the FA Cup gone, that means there's one less competition to worry about and a lot less games to allow for. Now, if you are in a big FA Cup run in not only the FA Cup but the FA Trophy as well, for example, then you're going to have a lot more games than the rest of the teams in your league. You're going to be playing a lot of Tuesday nights, sometimes some Thursdays. Also, because you're going to be playing a lot more games on your home pitch, potentially, it could lead to the pitch struggling, which means it could be damaged, which if you're playing a style of football that involves a lot of passing along the floor, you could struggle to play at home, which could be detrimental to your actual overall season in the league. So there are positives and negatives. As well, if you're playing catch up, your players could be tired. You might have to go and spend more money to bring in more players to play those extra games. So that's where you got to weigh up the balance of, is it worth putting the extra effort into trying to do a really long FA Cup run over maybe prioritising the league on its own? So in the comment section down below, what is your favourite FA Cup memory? Has your team got to play at home or away against a Premier League club? Let me know in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're down here, remember to click that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 15,000 by the end of the season, so if you'd help me get there, that'd be absolutely awesome. Also hit that like button. Can we get to 500 likes on this video? And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.